Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the release of the live-action Disney remake Mulan, hitting store shelves along with the comedic adventure film and third movie in a very unlikely trilogy, Bill and Ted Face the Music, along with Schitt's Creek is getting a complete collection release, and Ronin Flicks is releasing a limited edition of the 1978 revenge horror flick I Spit on Your Grave, plus much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we're at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart, and a couple things worth showing off over at this location. And they do have the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray digital of Mulan for $29.96, the Blu-ray DVD digital for $24.96, and the DVD only for $19.96. The same covers for the DVD and the Blu-ray, so no difference on that one. But the 4K here has a really great cover, man. I really like that cover a lot. I mean, if you're a fan of the movie, if you wanted to pick between the standard cover and this one, this is so much better, man. I just love the artwork on here. It's tremendous. Really beautiful, man. Wow. That is simply gorgeous, dude. I just wish the movie was just as good. Okay, so Nick and I did a movie review on Mulan. You can catch it on the movie review playlist. We also ended up putting a little bit of spoilers in the review as well, just so you guys know. But I will put a link down below in the description for you guys who missed out on the review and want to know our full thoughts on the movie. Definitely go to that review to check all of that out. But I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to be honest here. I mean, I love old school Disney animated movies. Cinderella, Snow White, The Little Mermaid, Dumbo, Beauty and the Beast. And yes, that includes Mulan too. I love Mulan. It's a really great animated movie. In fact, crazy enough with Nick, Mulan is Nick's favorite Disney animated movie of all time. So we went into it, excited to see it. But at the same time, we were kind of nervous. We're like, what is this going to be? Is this going to live up to the animated movie? And truth be told, it didn't. I mean, it's a much different movie than the animated film. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because there's a lot of these Disney remakes that go out of their way to do different things than what the animated film does. So it's kind of hard. I mean, on one hand, you don't want a carbon copy, but on the other hand, you want it just similar enough, maybe with slight differences, that it's like comfort food, but you want to try a little bit of a different flavor, I guess. And Mulan was very, very different. I mean, completely, yes, the same structure of a story is there with her, defending her country, pretending to be a man in the army. But there's no Mushu, there's none of the crazy hijinks with some of the soldiers, sort of the fat man carrying the horse, on the mountain type of thing. I mean, there's nothing like that, man. Nothing really fun. And yes, the movie is well done to a certain extent. It's well shot, it's extremely well acted, the action scenes are pretty decent. I mean, there's a lot of things to like about the movie, but it just kind of feels like kind of a bore and kind of a chore to sit through. Because when I was watching the movie, I thought, the Mulan animated movie is very fun. It's a very fun movie. You can sit kids down and adults alike, and they would enjoy it, and they get it, and everyone has a good time with it. With the live action movie, I kept thinking to myself, I said, kids who watch this movie are going to be really bored. I don't think there's much for kids to really hang on to with this movie. I think it's just gonna squirm around in their chair. They won't be as engaged with the movie. And I think the journey that Mulan goes on is not as satisfying as it is in the actual like animated film itself. I think there was deeper characters. I think there was a deeper overall meaning in the film. I think that everything as far as structure and messaging was better done in that animated movie. I think they tried to make this movie a little bit more PC, tried to be a little bit more trying to please everybody, and I just don't think the movie really worked out that way. And also, again, I think the movie loses something in translation when you put it in live action versus animation. Some of the live action Disney movies have actually fared quite well with doing that, but then there's other ones like Mulan, which unfortunately kind of lose a lot within the meaning of an animated movie. And when you go over to live action, it should work, but it comes off really boring and kind of lifeless, and unfortunately doesn't have the same exhilaration or fun or great meaning for kids that it would otherwise. It's still a decent movie. It's not terrible by any means, and there's a lot of really good things to like about it, but does it touch the classic? No, I gotta be real with you guys. It doesn't touch the classic at all. And for me, losing a character like Mushu, even though you look at the live action, you're like, Mushu really has no place here. But then they have this sort of phoenix that is in place of Mushu in a lot of ways. And that doesn't really belong in the movie either. So if you're gonna take out Mushu and replace it with something better, the Phoenix didn't really work. And again, you lose some of the fun aspect that I think kids will miss. And I don't think they're going to be engaged with the movie as much as they should be. That's just my opinion, guys. You guys could definitely disagree with me. Look, I paid $30 for this on Disney Plus, man. I split the payment with Nick, but I mean, is it worth the $30 rental? No, I don't think it is, man. I mean, it's decent. But is it $30 rental decent? No, I don't. Honestly, save your money for a lesser rental fee, or if somebody buys it, then, get it off of them. But as far as comparing to the original anime classic, yeah, not even close. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Bill and Ted Face the Music for 1996. The DVD digital for $17.96. Now, I actually did watch this on a streaming service, actually the weekend that it came out. John, Bob, and myself, we were in my apartment, we were chilling out, we rented Bill and Ted Face the Music, because we wanted to see this in the movie theaters, but at the time, the coronavirus raging and everything, so they decided to release the movie, but release it digitally. So we decided, what the hell, we'll enjoy a little Bill and Ted action. Now, I want to stress that I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I love Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Those are really fun, adventure movies with really goofy, clueless characters that are still kind-hearted. It's a light-hearted movie that has some really good comedic elements to it, some cool sci-fi aspects. Like, there's a lot to love about those first two Bill and Ted movies, and I really do enjoy them a lot, man. So I went into this movie hopeful. I want to. And look, a lot of people really like Bill and Ted Face the Music. I've seen a lot of reviews where people are literally praising this movie up and down. They love it. Love this movie. John, Bob, and myself, I gotta keep it real with you guys. We did not like this movie whatsoever. And I'm serious, man. Like, we all went into this really super hyped, really wanting to like it. And man, were we disappointed. I mean, seriously. I don't know what we really thought in our heads of what we wanted a third Bill and Ted movie to be exactly. But this was not what we were hoping for, man, really. I mean, basically, it's just about them being older and still clueless and have not saved the world, and they have a certain amount of hours before the world is destroyed, and they have to create the perfect song in order to do it. And it's sort of all the comedy and the complications that go along with that. Look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be straight up honest here. To me, this movie was a waste of time. It really was. And I was looking forward to this for a long time, man. They were talking about making this movie for decades, man. You know, wanting to get the right script and, you know, schedule-wise and everything like that. You know, directors would come and go, and I was always hoping that they would make another one. Because, again, those first two films are excellent. Like it is, they're fun, man. It is great. But there's a lot that I thought was really disappointed here, man. I thought the story felt very rushed, extremely rushed, with them having to find the perfect song, and it didn't feel like there was any time to really develop it. I felt the characters were really underdeveloped as well, man. I mean, the Bill and Ted's kids, I gotta be real here, Bill and Ted's kids are unnecessary in the movie, and I truly mean that. They really have no point in the movie whatsoever. They're literally pointless characters, as is, unfortunately, the princesses that they married. They really have no place in the movie whatsoever. I mean, it's cool that they do the references to the other films, like seeing Missy and some of the weird antics that she's into, and sort of the great callbacks. I mean, those are really great, man. And even a really cool little tribute to George Carlin as well. I mean, there's a lot of great things as far as callbacks are concerned, but as far as the development of the story, it just didn't work, man. It was really, everything felt off. Everything felt like they were shortchanging the movie. They never gave any time to anything. Everything was so rushed. Everything was like, go, 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 go. We gotta do this. The comedy felt rushed. The characters felt rushed. The storyline, plot line, everything. It just felt like it's sort of a slapdash movie, unfortunately. And it really sucks, man. It really honestly does. The only really good thing about this movie, I gotta admit, is Bill Sadler, who plays Death. He's awesome in the movie. Like, I love him from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. He is fun, and he is having a ball with this role, man. And I love him in this movie, man. Him playing the Grim Reaper Death is some of the best stuff in this movie. His jokes, man, I was cracking up, man. So was John. We were loving it. Unfortunately, everything else felt like a complete and utter rush job, and just felt like it wasn't exactly a Bill and Ted movie. It was almost like they were trying to make a Bill and Ted movie, but they couldn't quite recapture the magic or quite remember how to do it. So it's kind of like somebody with Alzheimer's trying to make a Bill and Ted movie. Like, oh yeah, there's Bill and Ted, and there's Death, and yeah, I know there's Missy, and yeah, they had kids, right? Yeah, and yeah, and there was a song, and you know, it was kind of like, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, but it didn't really add up to a very satisfying movie, in my opinion. I know, look, I'm in the minority. I get it. I completely get it. I'm in the minority, man, and a lot of you guys really love the movie, and I'm shitting on it right now, so I get it, man. I'm in the, oh, you're just hateful camp and you don't get it. I understand it, but for me, I really thought this movie, for somebody who was looking forward to it for decades, man, I was really disappointed with this flick. I really was. And I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting something better than this. Seriously, man. I know a lot of people like it, but if you compare this film to the other two, yeah, it doesn't hold a candle to it. Really. Honestly, man. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from you guys. Believe me, I probably am, but I'm speaking the truth. Seriously, man. Sorry to disappoint you guys on this one, but it is the truth, at least for me. And then also over here, they do have the Blu-ray digital 3-film collection of all 3 of the Bill and Ted movies, plus the DVD version, which is an only at Walmart exclusive, $29.96 and $22.96. Now, look, as I said, I really do love the first 2 ones. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, they're both great. And they both do something unique and very interesting with the Bill and Ted story. They don't do the same thing. They mix it up. And I know people really enjoy Excellent Adventure more than Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. They consider that the more classic one, which, truth be told, they are right. It is true. But there's something about Bogus Journey that I really love. I love William Sadler's death. I love those creatures. Station. I love Station. I love the evil bad guy. And the song at the end is so satisfying, man. Like, that's a satisfying end song for a movie. It feels like it brings the whole thing together. The end song in Face the Music is really disappointing, and to me, it wasn't really even a song. Like, the one in Bogus Journey felt right to me. That one felt really, again, slapdash and put together, and it really felt just not right. The first 2 ones I love. I'll always love them. I'll love them till the end of time, but Face the Music, unfortunately, yeah, I just can't love it the same way that I love the first 2. Again, I know, minority, I get it, guys, but I'll always love those first 2, and at least for me, that's what counts, man. Well, not bad. A couple of interesting releases. All right, let's head out. Well, at least we saw something this week. I mean, seriously, look, with this first Walmart, you never really know what you're going to get. Truth be told, guys, I mean, look, we did get Bill and Ted Face the Music and Mulan, and at least we got the big new releases, so we should be happy about that. Yes, we did not see any indie titles, because they don't have any of the new ones, nor any TV stuff, but I've kind of told you that with this first Walmart, it's always kind of a gamble anyways, so what were you really expecting? I mean, they are slowly getting better, and with the holiday season, of course, more physical media comes out, so we may get more stuff to look at, but, you know, there are certain weeks where we see better, and we see worse. This is kind of, hey, look, we saw something, and I'm happy for that, so I will take a win where I can get it, guys. That's for damn sure, man. Again, physical media is still very much a low priority, and going the way of the dinosaur here, but when we can get some good stuff, I will take it indeed, guys. I hope you will too as well. Not bad, at least a couple things, and 2 big titles to see is definitely worth it. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's head to the next location and see what we can find. Alright, everybody, we are at our second location, Target. But before we go in, I gotta talk to you guys about something real quick. Now, there was a lot of hope with a lot of people, especially here in New York State, California, some other ones, when some of the Regals in that area, in my area, decided to start to open. And you thought, okay, there's a hope here. There is a chance that maybe things might come back to some sort of normalcy. Well, no, not exactly, not anymore, because from what I've heard, and there's an article that literally just came out, that the remaining Regal locations that were here in New York, in California, other various parts of the country, will close back down again for the remainder of the year, well into next year, until there is, as they say, a good slate of movies coming out and people can go to them and they feel confident about the market. Okay, so, man, look, this is so topsy-turvy, man. This is so ridiculous. You know, I was saying at Walmart how, you know, Bill and Ted, you know, with the coronavirus pandemic raging, they went straight to digital. And I think a lot of people hinged on some sort of hope, seeing Regal reopen, saying, okay, there's a chance that they're going to come up roses again, right? There's a chance. Now, not so much, guys. And now there's even reports that Wonder Woman 1984 will most likely move to June of 2021, which, truth be told, I kind of knew it was going to at some point anyways, because I just don't see that they had any hope of releasing that thing in the winter. I just don't. And now there's experts that are saying, look, them closing these locations down and then reopening them is going to cost them more money. It's just going to do it. So what's the solution here? I mean, I've been talking about this now for God knows how long. What's the solution to all this? And to be fair with you, there is no solution. I mean, truth be told, I mean, you literally now are just in a waiting game of waiting until this pandemic has slowed down, it's ramping back up, until there's a viable vaccine, which seems kind of close, but maybe not really yet. There's so much uncertainty in the market at this point that you just don't know what 2021 is going to bring at this point. You really don't. Movie studios are hinging on the fact that people will want to go to the movies after not seeing all these releases for so long. They'll want to go back. So that means movie theaters will have confidence to reopen, knowing that people will want to be there, will want to actually see these movies and crowd in these tight spaces. I just don't know. I mean, again, how can you predict an absolute guarantee that people are going to want to pack in like sardines to these movies, man? I just don't know. I just don't know how anybody sees that happening. But also, look, all accounts have said we have to get this virus under control. We have to before there's any customer confidence whatsoever, man. Look, I don't think movie studios want to delay these movies any longer. Okay, I just don't think so. I don't think that movie theaters want to stay closed forever. But look, I have heard reports that with some of the theaters that were in my area that reopened, there was maybe 4 to 8 people in a theater, and a lot of those movie theaters were completely empty. Nobody wants to go. Nobody. I mean, well, that's not true. There are a lot of people who want to go, who want to support movie theaters, and I completely agree with that. But to say that, oh, a Wonder Woman movie or a Fast and the Furious movie is going to get a bunch of people in the theater when everyone's still afraid of this pandemic, man, that's a gamble, dude. That's a gamble that I don't know if I was a theater or a studio, I would really gamble on right now. I don't know. I mean, is the safe bet going straight to digital? Look, truth be told, Bill and Ted did really well. And by all accounts, Mulan did pretty good as well. So what's the gamble? What's the truth here? Where do we go from here? I don't know. But I'm dying to find out, man. I mean, with the closures happening again, and then our big hope on 2021, what do you guys think? Is there hope that's going to come in 2021? Do you think that people are want to go back in the theaters in droves? Do you trust the movie theater system? Do you think that we should finally embrace digital for a lot of these? Do you think they should just go straight to physical and say, fuck it? What's the solution? I mean, guys, definitely let me know. But right now, I don't see 100% foolproof solution that everyone's going to be behind. I just don't see it. As we head into the winter months, better safe than sorry, I guess, to close the theaters. But that means that who knows what the future will hold for 2021. Let's just hope it's better than 2020. Speaking of movies, well, a decent release week. And I think Target might be good for us this week. I think. Well, fingers crossed. Let's head in and check it out. All right, everybody. We are in at Target. And actually, there is quite a few things worth talking about this week. Man, kind of unexpected, but pleasantly pleased, that's for damn sure. And the first thing I'm seeing over here is they have the Blu-ray DVD digital of Mulan and the DVD only. The DVD is $19.99. The Blu-ray DVD digital combo is $24.99. That really beautiful 4K Ultra HD, $29.99. And again, gorgeous, man. But speaking of gorgeous, The only at Target 4K Blu-ray digital for $34.99. That looks really great. Look at that. Very cool, man. I don't know if it kind of beats this artwork, though. But damn, is it close. I do like the artwork. And it comes with a limited edition gallery booklet, which I'll kind of show you as close as I can. Kind of looks like on the inside. Nice. Not bad, man. Very cool. Huh. Looks pretty interesting to me, dude. Not bad at all. Huh. Man, some good, like, Mulan love happening at these stores so far, man. Now, okay, look, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to be honest here. Disney has had a lot of successes and a lot of failures with their live-action properties. Some have been really good, and others have been not so successful. The problem with doing these live-action Disney movies, or at least what I think the problem is that you gotta straddle the line between what people love and trying something unique and interesting and different. Because on one hand, you don't want a carbon copy, because why would you watch that if you can just watch the animated movie instead? But you don't want to stray too far away from the material that people don't really like what you've done and don't remember what they really liked about the original in the first place. So there's a line. It kind of straddles a bit. Some of them have been a little bit more successful than others. I think a lot of people look at Beauty and the Beast and they say, okay, Beauty and the Beast was decent, but unfortunately it felt like a carbon copy of the animated, just adding a couple of musical numbers, and it didn't really feel kind of necessary. Then you look at something like Dumbo that does something completely different, does something really outside of the box, something slightly similar but a lot of differences, and a lot of people were really turned off by that. Then you have something in the middle like Aladdin. Now, I think actually Aladdin, out of all of them, have been the most successful so far, because it still has the same feel, the same storyline that the original animated movie has. Yes, it changes up the genie, Robin Williams, to Will Smith, but actually that was an interesting, I don't want to say improvement, but it was an adjustment that actually worked for the live action. It was a different sort of genie, but I think you had enough familiar vibes, but it was just different enough for people to really enjoy. And they added a little bit more songs, which I think really worked for the movie as well. Cinderella is pretty decent. Also a few interesting differences. And then you look at something like The Lion King, and The Lion King, I think, felt way too similar. It felt like the same movie, but just didn't have the same heart and emotion. It's really hard. Honestly, these live action movies are not easy to do, because I don't think all of them are as successful. And I think a lot of people like myself go into these movies really stressed because, look, at the end of the day, I just don't know why they're doing these. I mean, I understand they're doing it for more money, but my opinion has always been, why do you remake something that's already good? Wouldn't we want to remake trash and try to improve on the trash? I just don't know why. I mean, I understand it that you want to bring it to a new generation, but my generation found out about these animated movies, the generation after that, and the generation after that will, and so on and so forth. It's the love of these movies that have been passed on from kids who are now adults, who show their kids, and vice versa. So the live action ones have never really made a lot of sense to me. I'm not completely against it, because I think some of them have worked, but I think some of them haven't. And straddling that line is really difficult to do, man. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just not quite sure, man. I'm really not. So what's next for the live action sort of journey that Disney is on? I think the journey that they're on, I know that they're doing The Little Mermaid, which I gotta be honest, I'm a little skeptical on, but I'm kind of seeing where that goes. I hear there's going to be a sequel to The Lion King, but I mean, we'll see what happens with that. They're kind of running out of ideas, right? I mean, the remake train can only last for so long. You eventually have to do more. I mean, are they going to do a live action of like the Toy Story eventually? I mean, where, where do we draw the line on? I just don't know. Like I said, I'm not fully against the live action remake train, but when you're good, I'm going to call it out. When you're bad, I'm going to call it out too. And with Mulan, I, it's not terrible. It's pretty decent. But I think it misses the mark as far as an animated film goes, or trying to do better than it, because I think you lose the fun. I think you lose a lot of the comedy that kids really engaged with. I think the movie felt rushed, and I don't think that the strong female message really got to people the way they were hoping it would. Some Disney movies translate better to live action than others. Mulan, I think everyone was hyped about it, but a lot of hype sometimes leads to a lot of disappointment. And for Mulan, trust me, I've seen a lot of stuff online, and there was a hell of a lot of disappointment. Not every live action remake is going to impress, and unfortunately, Mulan is one of them. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Bill and Ted Face the Music for $19.99. The DVD digital for $17.99. Now, I want to talk about Alex Winter. I really do, man, because I think that guy is extremely underappreciated. Seriously, we don't really talk about Alex Winter all that much. I mean, when we talk about Bill and Ted, we talk about Keanu Reeves much more than we talk about Alex Winter. And I get why, because Keanu Reeves is more of the bigger star. And let's be real, this movie wouldn't have even been made if Keanu Reeves wasn't as big of a star as he still is today. So let's be very honest, this movie would not exist without that. But that being said, Alex Winter is a big part of the Bill and Ted world, and he doesn't get as much love as I really do think he should, man. I mean, a lot of people really only know him from Bill and Ted, but for me, I know him from a lot more, actually. Now, a lot of people might have been familiar with, obviously, him in this role, but what about The Lost Boys, right? He played one of the evil vampires in Lost Boys, man. A really small role, but still, he was in there, man. I think he also played one of the evil punks in Death Wish 3? I'm thinking it was Death Wish 3 that he was in. He played a small role there. He also did a very short-lived show on MTV called The Idiot Box. And I don't think many people really even remember The Idiot Box. It was really the early days of MTV with them doing TV shows and everything, and Idiot Box was one of them. I think it lasted maybe 6 or so episodes, like not very long, but it was really wild, like these really weird and wild sketches, ridiculous, crazy, all over the top, like made no sense whatsoever, but really funny, man, and very just in your face. I don't know if it's on DVD or Blu-ray or not, but I gotta end up finding that out because it's really interesting, man. It's a really great show. Again, if you've never heard of The Idiot Box, definitely look into that because, man, wild. Man, it really is wild. And speaking of wild, another really great movie that nobody knows anything about. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, because a certain amount of people do. And that is Freaked. Yeah, Freaked, man. I think Freaked was from 1993, I think it was, man. And that is a crazy movie, man. It's about these people that go to this sort of rundown barn farm area and end up getting turned into these weird and wild looking freaks and creatures, and there's this sideshow and they gotta try to escape. I mean, it's more of a comedy than a horror film, but it's definitely like a horror comedy. But I remember watching that when I was a kid, and I was like, this is so weird and bizarre and nuts, and I really enjoy it, man. It's not one that many people know much about. It sort of runs more in the cult circles than anything else. But I had a lot of fun with that movie, man. It really is a blast. It truly is, man. And I think I think when a lot of people saw it at first, a lot of people really were scratching their heads like, I don't know what the hell this thing is. Like seriously, what in the actual fuck am I watching? And I think a lot of people were kind of turned off by the movie, but I think over the years people have learned to find it and appreciate it more. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and truth be told, a lot of people aren't going to love it, but I love the goddamn movie, man. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be a big studio film, and it failed spectacularly. And Alex Winter's career pretty much went down the toilet after that. I mean, yeah, he did some TV and some voice work, but really it wasn't until him really trying to get another Bill and Ted movie going and really trying to champion that, and eventually he succeeded. I mean, it's great to see him back here in the spotlight again. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the movie, I have to admit that seeing Alex Winter again on the big screen is really great. And hopefully he gets more opportunities because he's a really fun, charismatic guy who's done some really interesting work. If you've never dived into his filmography, definitely do it. Yeah, he's not as successful or popular as Keanu Reeves, but he's done some really interesting stuff. Definitely worth watching. Then I'm seeing they got the Blu-ray digital of that 3-film collection for $29.99. So for all you Bill and Ted lovers who don't have any of the movies, not a bad deal for $29.99. They do have that. They also end up having these 2 old school Sesame Street DVDs. Sesame Street Old School Volume 1, 1969 to 1974. Damn. My God, man, that is old school, baby. Woo, man, that's old school. Volume 1. They also have Volume 2, 1974 to 1979. Oh, man. Damn. Of course, I was not quite born yet. I was born in 82, but, you know, I guess my generation is still old school. I hate to admit that I'm getting older, but okay. But, dude, I loved Sesame Street back in the day, man. I mean, I grew up with Sesame Street. Some people grew up with Barney. Some people grew up with Mr. Rogers. No. I grew up with Sesame Street, man. Snuffleupagus, Big Bird, The Grouch, you name it, man. Loved that stuff. And for good or bad, made me the man I am today. Love Sesame Street, man, so much, man. Some of the best out there. Still going to this day. Crazy enough, man. Then I'm seeing they have this DVD, Disney Upside Down, for $14.99. Huh. Kind of interesting. Definitely never have heard about this one. Never. Not a single bit. Find Your Magic. What's this about? When 13-year-old Nori discovers she can flux into animals and her power manipulates flames, they enter the Sage Academy for Magical Studies. Where's wonky magic? And oh, so it's kind of like sort of a different sort of type of Harry Potter thing. It's sort of like Harry Potter, but more of like from the girls' point of view, I guess, of like witches and wizard type of deal. I seriously have no idea, man. I've never heard about it. I don't know if this came straight to Disney Plus or if this was on the Disney Channel or something. Like, really, I don't keep up with much in the Disney world anymore. Like, outside of, like, you know, like the major stuff, some of this stuff completely passes me by, man. If you guys know anything about this, definitely let me know. Good, bad. I mean, I love Harry Potter, but I love Harry Potter. I don't know if I like sort of B or C level Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying? Could be good for teen girls, though. Could be. Possible. Definitely, probably not for me, though. Not gonna lie on that one. Then I'm seeing they also have the SpongeBob musical live on stage for $9.99. Oh, Lord. What the hell is this? Includes an exclusive extended sing-along version. Oh, yay! Oh, baby. So it's just basically a live-action musical with these actors that are playing the live-action versions of SpongeBob and Gang. Oh my Lord. Oh my goodness gracious Lord. Holy shit. Wow. Oh my god, this has got to be some weird shit, man. I ain't gonna lie. Man, back when I was a kid, back in the day when I was a kid, we would go to these sort of like live action sort of things that we watched as kids. Like oh, they would have this Sesame Street on ice or whatever it was, and we would watch it, and it was kind of cool as a kid. But you look back on it now, and you're like, oh man, that was really bizarre and kind of bad. And but it was fun at the time. Does something like SpongeBob translate to a live on stage musical? I'm really curious because, like, basically instead of getting a giant sponge, you get a guy that looks like Howdy Doody. Okay, I guess it's SpongeBob Howdy Doody time. Yay, kids! Sorry that you weren't expecting the giant weird sponge and the weird sea creatures, and you get these humans that look straight out of a bad live action movie. Oh, no, God. Wow, man. Look, whatever you think of SpongeBob, it can be weird at times. It can be nuts. It's a popular show, man. A popular franchise of merchandise and movies and TV stuff. But a SpongeBob musical, man, does that really work? Does that translate well? Like I said, when I was a kid, we were doing a lot of these, hey, these kid stuff on ice, and the kids would go crazy seeing Big Bird on ice skates, and I now think to myself, like, oh my god, how did that motherfucker not fall on his ass? Like that's what I think now. But a SpongeBob live action musical, wow, you guys gotta tell me how this turned out, man, because I am dying to know, man. Wow, that is very unique and interesting. Woo! My goodness, man. And more stuff for kids with the Paw Patrol Puptastic 8 DVD collection. Goodness gracious, man. God, Paw Patrol is so fucking popular, man. Man, some kids literally eat, sleep, shit Paw Patrol, man. I'm serious, man. I don't have kids, at least not yet. Oh man, do they grow out of Paw Patrol eventually? Is there any hope in my life that maybe when I have kids they get into Paw Patrol, maybe I can wean them off it? Ooh, I mean, it's probably good for kids, good to learn about cops and firefighters and, good life lessons, but man, Paw Patrol has a hold of your kids, goddammit. And I don't think it's letting go anytime soon. And then they have the DVD digital of Spontaneous for $12.99. I'm actually so happy that they have this release, guys. I'm really, really beyond happy. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and I was a little skeptical of the movie, to be real with you guys, because I was like, the premise is kind of a little out there. Basically, it's about this class of seniors at this high school, and they start to spontaneously combust. Like literally, they turn into like just a ball of blood. Like poof, and they're just all over the place. And nobody knows why it's happening. Nobody knows what the cause is. And it's these teenagers that literally could be on the brink of death at any moment in their lives. And it's just the world trying to figure that out. It's them trying to coping with death and life and the meaning of things, and also these two people who are kind of finding each other and falling in love at the same time. It's got some comedy elements to it, maybe a little bit of horror elements, and romance at the same time. Boy, what a really weird and odd combo this is, man. Oh, it's based on a novel. I've never read the novel nor have ever even heard of it. That's wild. Wow, man. But I was a little skeptical, but I was intrigued to watch it. And I have to admit, I love this movie. Seriously, I really, really love this movie. I think it's a really great film. Dead serious. It is really great. I mean, for such a wild and out there premise, you would think that it wouldn't work, but they make it work, man. And what I like about it is it's got a lot of great angles. It's got that sort of teenage angst, sort of, young adult sort of romance to it, but it doesn't take itself seriously. It has a really great message about the youth and not trusting society today and not trusting adults and the world and how the world has sort of screwed them over, and and how sort of the meaning of the world is different to them than maybe it would be to sort of adults that have grown up in this world previously. There's a lot of great teenage angst in this movie, and the love story, honestly, actually, the love story is really convincing. Catherine Langford and Charlie Plummer do a really great job of two people that in normal circumstances wouldn't even come together, but they make it work. And under these really volatile situations of people exploding around them, they find each other and they find meaning in each other and meaning in their love and what it means to them. And it just says a lot about the world and the uncertain times we are and how people lie to us and how kids today are really so confused about the world and life and where they're going, and how you have to grow up really fast. There's so many really great young adult movies out there about sort of love stories and angst and growing up in the world and relating to one another, that there are certain movies that could get sort of drowned out in the conversation, and Spontaneous seems like one that I think could get drowned out. Like, people could really look at this movie and say, this looks really weird and bizarre. It's not your normal, typical young adult teen romance angst movie, but it doesn't need to be. I think it just needs to be fun, and it needs to be relatable, and it needs to be it needs to be interesting, and I think if it does, I think people will really respond to it. And Spontaneous really is, man. Now, at the end of the movie, do they solve why people are exploding? No, they don't. Do they have to? No, they really don't have to explain why people are exploding and turning into a ball of blood goo right in front of them. It's much more than that. That's the idea behind the movie, but there's so much more to it within that context. And I think the movie does a really great job of speaking to the youth of the world and really giving a very unique and fascinating message around a really ridiculous premise. I really love this movie, man. Now, it's only on DVD and digital. There is no Blu-ray as far as I know. I would love for there to be a Blu-ray one day, but this is an amazing movie. And I know some of you guys are like, well, it's young adult, teen romance garbage, and why should I watch it? Look, I'm not gonna lie, there's some of that stuff, like Twilight, which is really bad, and frankly not worth your time, but then there's stuff like this that really surprises me, and it makes sort of the young adult movies, especially the ones nowadays that can kind of be superficial, this one is a real gem, and definitely worth watching, guys. Seriously, I highly recommend this. I went in it not really expecting much, and I was blown away how much fun I had with this movie, and what a great message it has in it. Really shocked by this one. Very well worth it. So crazy to think that a movie about teens sort of combusting into blood has a great message to it. Wild, man, but so good, man. Then the next thing I'm seeing over here, they have the Blu-ray digital of Guest House for $17.99. We's in the juice. Hello, Encino Man, folks. Yeah, I'm talking about Pauly Shore, baby. They're kicking him to the curb. He's just kicking back. Oh, baby. So I watched this on Amazon Prime as well, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. I didn't know what to expect. Like, it's kind of cool to see Pauly Shore in a movie again. I hadn't seen him in a movie in like a long ass time, dude. So it was kind of cool to see him doing something else. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance because I kind of miss Pauly Shore a little bit. But I was like, I'm not expecting much from this movie, and quite frankly, I was proven right. Really, I honestly was, guys. So basically, it's about this young couple that moves into this house, and there's actually a guest house in the back, and the guest house is occupied by Pauly Shore, who just is wreaking havoc on these people's lives. Guy doesn't give a shit about noise or had doing drugs or partying. He doesn't give two fucks. He is going to run rampage on these guys' lives and not give two shits. And it's their sort of journey to try to get him out of their lives. Good luck trying to get Pauly Shore out of your fucking lives, man. Have you ever seen Biodome? Oh man, I really didn't like this movie. It's the problem is, in my personal opinion, it's not that the movie's outright terrible because there is some fun moments in it. The problem is like it's overall the movie's not really funny. It's like they're throwing a lot at the wall. Like it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. You're just throwing it and hopefully something sticks. And that's kind of what's going on with Guest House. Like Pauly Shore is trying to be his most like Ollie. Like he's trying, but it's like he can't really pull it off the way that he used to pull it off many years ago. The charisma really is no longer there as what it used to be, and I think comedy and the world of comedy has sort of passed Paulie by in a lot of ways. He's not terrible in it, but he's just kind of very unfunny and he's just going through the motions, as a lot of these actors are. Some are really trying to be funny, and others are just really kind of pretending to be funny to get a paycheck. The movie's kind of over the top, kind of ridiculous, and really, at the end of the day, you don't care. You're like, dude, just go to the fucking California court and get this guy out of your lives. Like, why are you going through all these ridiculous things to get him out? I know there's like, in this movie, they say something about California law and you know, guests have some sort of like rights over the house or something, some bullshit. Like, no. You go to the California court or whatever, go to a judge and kick his ass out. That's it. And end of story. And but you know, no, they want to tiptoe around things and they want to be PC. No, don't PC. Just kick his ass out. That's it. Your ass is kicked out. Done. Over with. We're not having this discussion anymore. But no, I have to go through the fucking motions. But the problem is this movie is supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be a fun little romp of a comedy where like, this squatter is living in my place, and oh look, he's giant boobs are all over the place, and they're drawing dildos all over the place, and oh, isn't that funny? Juvenile humor, blah, 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 you know. And sometimes juvenile humor really works for a movie, and other times it's kind of a deterrent. Guest House is one of those movies where the idea is interesting, and there's movies that have been done that are like it, like those movies with Seth Rogen where the college frat guys are living right next to him. Like, there's some of that stuff really works. There's another really great movie with Kirstie Alley years ago called Guest House. No, not Guest House. I'm sorry, thinking of this movie. I think it's called Madhouse. It is where like all of these like family members are squatting in their house, and the hilarity of that and how they just won't fucking leave. Like, that's a hilarious movie. If you've never heard of that one, definitely check that out because it's really fun. And then there's Guest House that is just like wah wah. It just kind of falls flat with the comedy and everything, and not fun whatsoever. I wish I could say that I had fun with Guest House, but that would be a complete lie. It's cool to see Pauly Shore in a movie again, but I'd rather see him within the juice rather than being a guest. Because if I was running the house, you would be getting the fuck out. Yeah, and as far as this movie is concerned, it's not funny. People are going through the motions, and I would rather have not seen the movie. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray of Misbehavior for $17.99. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and actually, this release was supposed to come out last week. Uh, I don't know why. I didn't see it in any of the stores. I thought I wouldn't see it at all, but thankfully, I get to see it now. And so basically, this movie is about basically the disruption of the 1970 Miss World pageant, the launch of a revolution. Yes, indeed, based on an incredible and wild true story. I gotta admit, man, I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was really super fun, man. I love the British humor, and I'm not always sort of the British humor guy, but the British humor was really fun here. I like sort of that great female empowerment message, and at times with all these sort of females coming together to sort of interrupt the pageant, it had sort of almost like an Ocean's 8 sort of vibe to it, which was really fun. And I thought the acting was really great here. Keira Knightley does an awesome job. Gugu Mbatha Raw, awesome. Reese Ifans great, and Greg Kinnear is awesome here. He plays Bob Hope, and man, he is awesome in this movie. He does a really great sort of comedic Bob Hope, and I really like Greg Kinnear, man. He's one of those actors that doesn't get as much love as he did early on in his career, but I gotta tell you, him doing these small roles, man, he does a great job with them, man, and he's a really underrated actor. Does a great job here. And with Keira Knightley, I like Keira Knightley in these smaller British style movies. I really do. I like her in the big blockbuster stuff, but her doing these small sort of British movies, I think she's awesome in these roles, man. She does a great job here. It's a fun movie, a wild true story. It's just a good time. I really enjoyed this flick, man. Yeah, I thought this was really good, man. Really enjoyed that one quite a bit. Then I'm seeing they have the DVD of Henchmen for $14.99. And what in the world is this thing? It's tough being bad when you're good? Like an interesting animated movie. Look at all the voice talent, though. James Middleditch, James Marsden, Rosario Dawson, Alfred Molina, Nathan Fillion, Jane Krakowski, Bobcat Goldthwait. Damn, that's quite the voice cast. I've never heard of this thing. I don't know if it's like a straight to DVD animated movie or something. I have no clue, man. Looks kind of interesting, at least. I wonder what it's about. Lester has big dreams, big bad dreams. Wants to become the greatest supervillain of all time. When he finds himself armed with one of the world's most powerful weapons, it seems nothing can stand in his way. Interesting. Man, isn't that the thing with like henchmen and like evil bad guys? It kind of reminds me of like Pinky and the Brain or something. Of like, we have our evil plan to take over the world for the 100th time. And this time, it will work. Never really does, though, obviously. Right, with plans to destroy the world. Now Lesnar must decide to I like the plot, but I gotta admit, the animation looks really cheap, though. It kinda does. I don't know about this. Like, the voice talent is really great here. Like, amazing actors doing voice for this animated movie, but the animation looks a little on the cheapo side. I gotta admit, over the years, I've been seeing a lot of these animated movies that sort of come out that try to capitalize on the young kids crowd, but they're not by any major studio. It's just an animated movie, and they just sort of dump it on DVD and with a cool cover, and you know, it just attracts people to buy it. Some of them are not that good. I don't know about Henchmen. It's got an interesting idea, sort of playing on sort of the evil henchman, making fun of it type of deal with a cool little story about being the good guy. It's probably cool for kids, but I don't know about that animation, man. Good voice talent, but not sure. 50-50 on this one. If you guys know much about it, definitely let me know. And then the other thing I'm seeing is they have this limited time Blu-ray gift set of The Last Dance, a 10-part documentary event for $49.99 about the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, Chicago Bulls from ESPN Films. Examination of Greatness. It's about, yeah, it is about their last run, I believe. Yeah. Probably a really fascinating documentary. And look all the stuff you get. Holy shit. Man, if you're like a Chicago Bulls fan, this is like your wet dream. Look at that, man. Whoa. I gotta admit, yeah, I'm not really a sports fan. I don't really watch a lot of sports. I've kind of told you guys that from time to time over the years. But I remember being young and the Chicago Bulls just owning the NBA and owning, just the sports world, and just what a phenomenon it was. And even if you weren't really a sports fan, it was still around you because it was just part of culture. It was part of the world. You couldn't get away from it. The greatness of Michael Jordan, the greatness of the Chicago Bulls, and give the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan all the credit in the world, because I don't think we'll ever see a run like that ever again. I really honestly don't. It's amazing. Even for someone like me who's not a sports fan, I have to bow down to the greatness of Michael Jordan and the greatness of the Bulls and what they accomplished, because it was phenomenal, man. So this must be a really fascinating documentary, just talking about the team and the difficulties that they had to deal with. It's probably really, really great, especially for any sports lover, NBA or Chicago Bulls fan or Michael Jordan enthusiast. Probably really great, man. What a really nice gift set. And look at all the stuff you get. That is awesome, man. Not bad. That is really cool. Not bad at all, man. And look at all the really great stuff this week. Holy cow, man. Target definitely came through this week, and I'm a little shocked, but very pleasantly pleased. Not bad this week, man. Really nice. All right. Let's head out. Surprise, Target delivers, baby. Okay, look, I can't say that all the time, to be fair. Pretty much 95% of the time, I can't say that really ever. But today, I can say it, damn it. Wow. There is a lot of releases this week that Target has to offer, man. When it's a good week, it's good at Target, man. And this week is damn good, man. A lot of really great indie titles, stuff for kids, big new releases, exclusives. Woo! Who knew it was going to be so good this week, man? You never know until you go in, and Target here definitely proves that theory in a big bad way, guys. Wow. I am massively impressed for sure, man. So awesome here. Hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. Let's head to the next location and see what more physical media goodness we can find. All right, everybody. We are at our third location, the second Walmart. We are going to go in and see if they have any interesting indie titles worth talking about. If they do, we're going to go back to Film Fan 108 Central and talk about them. But before we do, I wanted to talk about a movie trailer that I forgot about. I couldn't believe I forgot about this one, man. I'm so glad it didn't completely pass me by. And that is Mank. Man, I can't believe I forgot about that. Coming to Netflix, actually very, very soon, December, right around the corner. And this movie is basically about Henry Mankiewicz, played by Gary Oldman, and the tumultuous development of Orson Welles' iconic film, Citizen Kane. I love this trailer, man. I really do. I love these sort of old-time black and white movie trailer style. I love that so much, man. As somebody who's a lover of old school movies, man, that just warms my heart in a big bad way. And in fact, black and white really warms my heart. I know a lot of people are not huge fans of black and white, but man, for me, I really, really love old school black and white, man. I mean, some of my favorite movies are black and white. The original King Kong, Ed Wood, High Noon. I mean, so many great black and white old school films. So I love seeing modern day filmmaking being in black and white. So for some reason, I just love how you combine the two together. Not many people do it anymore, but Man, it's great. I love that. So kudos to especially David Fincher. Speaking of David Fincher, directs Mank. Man, I love me some David Fincher. I really do. Alien 3, Fight Club, Seven, Panic Room, The Game, uh, Gone Girl. Oh man, Zodiac. So many really wonderful films, man. David Fincher is one of my top favorite directors of all time. I love what he does. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button and so much more that he's done. He is a really wonderful and bold filmmaker, man. And I I love his filmmaking style. I love that he doesn't pin himself down to one genre. He was doing sort of thrillers and horror stuff early in his career, and then he sort of moved away from that and has been doing some really interesting, unique work. Stuff that you wouldn't have considered David Fincher doing, but he pulls it off, man. He's good at what he does. He's one of the best, man. I think this is going to be really good. And even the actors, man. Gary Oldman, Lily Collins, Amanda Seyfried, Charles Dance. I mean, a great cast here. And I love movies about old Hollywood. There's something about movies about the old Hollywood lifestyle that I just really embrace. And I don't know why. It's just so fascinating to me. It really is, man. You know, even movies that I don't really love a lot, like something like Hail Caesar, I still love it in a small way because of how it talks about old Hollywood. There's something about that style, that old, 20s, 30s, you know, the art scene, filmmaking scene that I really love, and it's fascinating to me. So this is right down my alley, man. It really honestly is. It looks great. I mean, a great cast, great filmmaker. I love the black and white techniques. This is something I'm really looking forward to, man. I really do. I don't know if you guys are. Definitely let me know, man, because it looks cool to me. But something I'm definitely going to be looking forward to watching. But in the meantime, let's head into the second Walmart and see what, well, if there's any indie goodies worth checking out. We interrupt this video for some late breaking news. Okay, look, there is no late breaking news. There is none. I swear to God, everything's okay, guys. Everything's like, check your pulse, okay? Check your pulse. Everything's cool, man. Everything's all good. I swear. There's nothing craziness going on. No stress whatsoever. I swear to you, nothing, guys. I just wanted to say that I did go into the second Walmart, and I didn't film in the second Walmart because they were actually filling up the media. It was sort of late afternoon, and they were finally filling it up. A lot of third parties and other employees, and finally, at like late afternoon, finally filling up the physical media. Why couldn't they do it in the morning? I don't know. But they were finally doing it. But I was looking at all of the releases, indie titles, anything whatsoever, and really there was nothing that I hadn't shown off already at Target or what I will be showing off over at Best Buy. So I figured, you know what, if I've already shown a lot of that stuff off, then I really don't need to show it off from the second Walmart. Now look, this is one instance of that. There will be other weeks where I will have to grab titles from the second Walmart and come back to FilmFan 108 Central and show it off for you guys. But if there's weeks where I don't have to, then I'm not gonna do that, guys. I mean, truth be told, out of the 3 stores, I saw everything that I could see for the week. So if I'm able to do that, then that is a-okay with me, guys. Number one, it relieves me of a little bit more hassle, and I don't have to deal with the stress of going into that second Walmart and having, employees and managers look at me like I'm like Al Capone or something. So, fine, whatever. Now, like I said, certain weeks will be this way, other weeks will be showing off media, but just so you guys know that if I don't have to, then that don't seem the point to show it off and go out of my way if I'm already showing off that physical media. Anyways, it doesn't mean that there's not great media to show off. It means that I pretty much showed off all of it anyways. So there will be some really great media upcoming at the next location, and a little bit of stress relief that I don't have to show anything off at the second Walmart. Woo! Doesn't always happen, but when it does, very happy man indeed. Let's go to the next location and see some really great physical media goodness. All right, everybody, as the sun is beginning to go down, I think we have one more location to go to, and it's always good to be back at the Beast. Yes, indeed, it is good to be back at Best Buy, baby. I am very happy to be back at the Beast, man. Incredibly happy. Last week was pretty good. The Beast always is very unique with interesting exclusives and editions we haven't seen yet. I always love going in here, man, and this week is no exception. I'm looking forward to it, man. Who knows what we'll see. Hopefully some really good stuff ahead, and hopefully some good deals to be had. Let's head in. Check it out. All right, we are in at Best Buy, and the first thing that I'm seeing is they got the Blu-ray DVD digital of Disney's Mulan for $24.99, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray digital for $29.99, and I knew we had to, man. I knew we would get an exclusive here. Best Buy 4K Blu-ray digital limited edition steelbook for $34.99. Look at this. This is really nice. I like this. I like sort of the watercolor painting effect to it. It's actually really nice. I like that. It looks really beautiful. I gotta admit though, I don't think it beats the 4K regular edition. I don't think it does, man. I really don't, because honestly, the 4K, this just looks like a more beautiful looking cover. Again, I like the watercolor effect here. I really do, but I don't think anything can beat that. I don't, man. That is beautiful. That art is really fantastic, man. But it's still pretty good, Mo. Regardless, man, it's still pretty nice. Now, Disney has a real dilemma, doesn't it? I mean, really, if you really think about it, Disney honestly does. With the coronavirus and everything really going on and really raging as much as it is, unfortunately, Mulan had to go the way of streaming. They had to go on Disney Plus. I mean, they didn't, I guess, technically have to go on streaming, but they didn't really want to wait, and they said, look, God knows when the movie theaters are actually going to come back in any capacity that's going to be stable. So they decided, look, we're going to release it on Disney Plus, and they released it for $30 fucking on Disney Plus. $30, man. Now, it's not a one-time thing, because if you pay the $30, it's basically yours to watch as much as you want to watch it. So it's not a bad thing as long as you keep Disney Plus. If you leave Disney Plus, having paid the $30 for Mulan, well, you're out the $30, so, you know, you're in the crapper. But, I mean, as long as you have it, you can watch it as much as you want. But I think Disney is in a bit of a dilemma. I really honestly do. And because I think they are running out of material. I think they are running out of these animated movies to really do. The content is kind of drying up for Disney. It really is. I mean, yeah, they have now some of the Fox properties, and they're going to remake and redo a lot of stuff with that, but I just don't know, man. I really don't know where Disney goes next. You know, they could make another Toy Story sequel, but that will be like number 5. They could make a Lion King live-action sequel, I guess. That's another sequel possibility. But as far as original material goes, Disney is no longer the powerhouse that it used to be. Because I remember when I was a kid, man, long time back, it was like every year, every couple years, you would get, you know, a Lion King, you would get, you know, a Mulan, you would get, you know, all these really great, wonderful animated movies, the Toy Stories of the world, and you would get all that stuff, and every one of them instantly became classics. I don't know how much you can really say about that today. the world of Disney that I was a part of when I was a kid is not the same as it is now. And I don't know if it'll ever reach those heights again. I really honestly don't, man. I mean, I appreciate everything that Disney has done in the past. It's things that have shaped me. I've loved them. But I feel like Disney is really slipping. I honestly do, man. And now with movie theaters being crushed for a long time, they now have their own Disney Plus service. I just don't really feel like they care as much as maybe they should now. They've created a brand, and they're hedging all their bets on that brand. If you like the Disney brand, that's what it is. And we're going to create remakes and sequels, and that's what we're going to do. Originality is out the window. Now, that's not completely true, of course, because you do have some of the Marvel properties, and you have The Mandalorian, and you have some of the stuff that they've done, which they've been really good at, but there's been a lot of those, unfortunately, that just kind of, there's nothing really original that's really amazing anymore. The only thing that I'm really looking forward to as far as originality with Disney is that animated movie Soul, which looks really good. I really like it. Unfortunately, again, it's not coming to theaters. It's coming straight to Disney Plus. So, again, most likely you're going to have to, I'm assuming you're going to have to rent it for another 30 some odd bucks. And the thing with Mulan is that Mulan could risk doing the $30 because it's Mulan. Like, it kind of was hyped, and you can kind of see why people would pay the money. I don't know if they would do it with Soul, unless it's going free. In that case, then, it'd be worth it. But Disney is in an interesting crossroads, in my opinion. It really is. They could either continue to make really original content, stuff that people really love, and continue to inspire and put out original stories, or they could go the way of the remake and sequelitis and continue to just cash in on the name brand. But the only reason they got the name brand was because of doing original material like Mulan. So I don't know, man. It's in a crossroads. I used to love Disney, but I've kind of lost a little bit of love for Disney, to be sure. I really have. So for me, I think Disney has to really reevaluate themselves. That's my honest opinion, man. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm not really sure, but they really do, man. It's a real shame because I have such fond memories of Disney, but the same kids nowadays don't have that same fond memory that I do. But that was going to the movies and seeing these originals for myself and really feeling like Disney was a world of fantasy and a world of opportunity. And nowadays, that's been watered down a lot. Kind of curious what you guys think about that, man. But with Mulan, it's decent, but it's not $30 decent. And that's really the problem. Hate to say it, man. So I think with the special features, if I'm not mistaken, they do have deleted scenes, updating a classic, I know the name, Reflections of Mulan, being bad. Well, some interesting special features, not half bad, man. I mean, if you like Mulan, I can't fault you, because again, it's a classic story, but is the live action remake actually worth it? I don't really know, man. I just don't think it can touch the original. And speaking of the animated classic, well, the 4K Blu-ray digital for $29.99, and yet another exclusive 4K Blu-ray digital limited edition collectible steelbook for $34.99 right here. I like that steel. That's nice. I like the artwork on there with sort of the warrior gear on and going to put it on. Looks nice. It really does, man. I actually do like the steel better than the steel for the live action Mulan. I really do. I don't know why. I just like the feel a little bit better. That is nice. That is not bad, man. And as I said, the animated classic is just that. It's a classic. And it's such a really great, wonderful story about female empowerment. It's a great story for little girls. I think kids can really get into it. I think kids really love Mushu. I mean, hell, I loved Mushu when I was younger. Mushu was like fucking awesome. Love that. The action was really cool, and Mulan really felt like a great warrior, just a really great overall character. I love her arc in this movie, and you really get to relate to the characters. You find them appealing, you find them funny and likable, and that's something that is really deeply missing with the remake. It really honestly is, man. And there's a really great rewatchability factor with this animated movie that there isn't with the live action. There really isn't. I mean, honestly, I look at the animated Mulan here, and there's something about it that I really enjoy. It's fun, it's goofy, it's got really great comedy for kids, which is awesome. I think it holds their attention. I just don't think that the live action Mulan really holds anybody's attention. I really don't think that, man. And I think at the end of the day, ultimately, Disney is about really the younger generation. Is it really about the kids? And are they entertained? And can you keep them watching a movie? When you're young, I have to admit that you don't really pay attention as much as you normally would otherwise. And you need movies out there that really will engage you and keep you entertained. And Mulan really does that. The live action one doesn't really do it the same way that the animated one does. And I feel like in this case, not every case, because some live actions are actually equal to the animated, in my honest opinion. But with the animated one here, by far, miles better than the live action, man. This one will remain a classic. This one, not even close, man. Not even close. And again, no Mushu. Mushu! Come on! Mushu, baby. The one that has Mushu is the better one. Clearly, man. Clearly. We've also got that limited time Blu-ray gift set of The Last Dance for $49.99. And again, this looks really cool, man. I gotta admit, if you're an NBA fan, a Michael Jordan enthusiast, a Chicago Bulls lover, this thing is like an easily must-buy, man. A lot of cool stuff in here, and a hell of a lot of great special features, man. Shit. Damn. I gotta tell you, ESPN does really great with these sort of like limited gift sets, man. They've done it for like their 20 for 20 and everything, and they're really good at that, man. I wish I was more of a sports lover. I'm a sports movie lover, but not really much of a actual sports fan. I don't know, it never really sort of hit me. But sports movies do. Interesting. Actually, I would be very interested in the future if they were to ever make a full-on sort of biopic story about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. I'm kind of surprised they never have, actually, truth be told. But I guess not. It would seem like a no-brainer, but maybe in the future. Who knows, man. Then I'm seeing over here they have the Blu-ray digital of Bill and Ted Face the Music for $19.99. Now, I've talked about a lot of problems that I've had with the movie, and there is. But there's really one problem out of all of them that have really, I guess, kind of bothered me the most. And I was talking to one of the guys at work, and I said, well, the problem to me is that they're still the same old Bill and Ted that you knew from the first second. They've never grown up as characters. And he says to me, yeah, that's the issue. Is that they haven't matured as characters. All they've done is become the same idiotic goofballs that you know and love. And that's the problem, isn't it? Because I feel like in cinema, we want characters to stay the same that we know and love it's sort of like comfort food again, right? It's comfort food. We know and love them. They're the same sort of characters. They do the same stupid things. But at the same time, you want maturity. You want them to grow up. You want them to learn life lessons. And it's kind of a straddle, right? It really is, because to me, that was the one thing I had a problem with, which is like Bill and Ted never learned any lessons from the first and second movie. They're still the same people that they were. They're immature and they're irresponsible. And I guess for me, as somebody who is an older moviegoer now, who has matured and grown up with these movies, I kind of wanted the same for Bill and Ted. Is that asking a lot? Because I don't really think it is. I mean, it kind of reminds me a lot of Clerks 2. I mean, really, it honestly does. When you look at something like the first Clerks, those characters are young, they're kind of goofballs, and in the Clerks 2, it does seem like they've grown up a bit. It does. I mean, yes, Dante and Randall are still a little bit of the same sort of oddballs that they were in the first movie, but I sort of see them grown up a little bit. I see them, they still have the same antics, but yet they're a little bit more, well, slightly more mature, but still, they're a little bit more mature. And in some ways, I appreciated that. You can still have those interesting, goofy characters, but you need to mature them a little bit. It's the same thing with, like, Godfather 3. And it's kind of hard to compare Bill and Ted to Godfather 3, but if you really think about it, in Godfather Part 3, everybody was pissed off about Michael Corleone. Because they looked at Michael Corleone and they said, well, wait a minute, he's not the same evil, ruthless guy that he was in Godfather Part 1 and 2. And I was like, yeah, that's called character development. He's grown. He's not the same character that he was all those years ago when he was younger. He's grown up. He's had other life experiences. He's not going to be the same character. And there was a lot of people pissed off by that. Oh my God, he's more reflective and he's not as violent. And I'm like, yeah, because characters have to grow up just like human beings do. And I kind of really didn't like that about Bill and Ted. And I know that's a complaint that you guys might be like, oh, really? But to me, it matters. I wanted Bill and I wanted Ted to sort of not completely be the most responsible grown-ups in the world, but I wanted them to understand the lessons that were learned in those first two movies. And it felt like they hadn't learned anything. And the problem is that there's so much naive, stupid characters in the movie. Bill and Ted and their daughters, like their daughters act just like Bill and Ted do. They're carbon copies of Bill and Ted, and I thought that's not really interesting and unique to me. They're just carbon copies. Like what's great about their personalities? They're just Bill and Ted, but in younger female form. Like that's it. It didn't really interest me, and it just felt like, again, they took elements from the other movies, cut and pasted, and tried to make this movie. And movies like Bill and Ted Face the Music are all about nostalgia. Oh, look, oh, the phone booth. Okay, cool. Oh, look, they're dressed the same way. And oh, look, death. And oh, look, there's Missy marrying somebody different. And oh, there's the father. And then, like, it's based off of nostalgia. And sometimes nostalgia works. I'll fully realize this. Sometimes nostalgia works. And a lot of times nostalgia fails. Because if you don't do nostalgia right, it feels kind of chintzy and cheesy and feels like they're not really telling the story. They're just hoping that you remember all these cool moments and hope you like the movie because of it. That's kind of what I got from Bill and Ted Face the Music. I know, as I said, I'm in the minority and you guys are going to rail me for it, but I got to be real with you guys. I got to be honest. And I just feel like that as much as I love seeing Bill and Ted again, as much as I love seeing Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter come back together in these roles, I just don't think it was the right movie for it, man. I just don't. And it's a real shame because to me, the journey ends at Bogus Journey. It really does. And this could have been great, but it fails in a lot of ways. And it's really unfortunate, man. It really honestly is. I know a lot of people are going to like it. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. But for me, making the characters the same way and having a little bit of nostalgia doesn't do it. You need something more. And this movie, to me, just didn't have it. It's a real shame because it could have been great. It could have made the trilogy, really a trilogy, all the more worth it. But, and it's hard to hate on a movie that stars Keanu Reeves, but, well, it is possible. I've talked about 47 Ronin, so it is possible to hate on a Keanu Reeves film. And I guess this is another one to add to the list. Bill and Ted, I love you, and you're usually excellent to me, but not this film. You faced the music, and you lost. Maybe they can time travel back to save this film. Oh, wouldn't that be a nice one? Bill and Ted face the movie. Or remake the movie. Ah, there you go, Bill and Ted remake the movie. That I would definitely watch. You've got Bill and Ted panel at Comic-Con. Each other. Again, I love Bill and Ted. And I think those characters are amazing. And if you haven't seen the first two Bill and Ted movies, definitely watch it. But it's not perfect. But I gotta admit, seeing Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter together, it did touch my heart. Just a little bit. It definitely did. Very interesting. Again, not the best movie, but if you love the nostalgia and seeing these two icons together, then maybe it was worth it just a little bit. Not bad so far, man. Some really interesting exclusives, new releases. Not too bad so far. See what else they got. And then on the other side of the new releases, and I gotta at least show this off, guys. Now, I showed you guys all of the sort of steelbook love that they had last week with all of these really interesting steelbooks that they have. The Spider-Man's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Into the Spider-Verse, Venom, and Knives Out as well. And I was really shocked to see them. And a lot of you guys have told me, oh, hey, Knives Out and some of the Venom stuff and everything, it's like $15. And you gotta get it because it's $15 and it's really cool and it's a great deal. And I'm like, yeah, it's a really awesome deal. It's $34.99, dude. Where is the $15? Like, I just looked on the Best Buy website and they literally have no of the steelbook release for $15. It's all $34.99. Where are you guys getting the $15 from? Is it eventually going on sale? Because I want the Knives Out steelbook. I would love to pay it, but I'm not paying $35 for it. I'll pay like $15, $16 for it, but not $34.99. That's for damn sure. But again, some of you guys are saying, hey, I got it on, for a really great deal for $15. Where? Because $34.99, $34.99, $34.99, $34.99, $24.99, $34.99, $34.99. Like literally, they're all like high priced. So I'm curious as to where you guys are finding those prices, because here at Best Buy they certainly don't have them. Like I said, I would love to pick up the Knives Out steelbook. That's the one I like desperately crave. But again, I'm not paying $15 for it. Definitely not doing it, man. That's for damn sure, man. Again, I really want it, but until it goes down in price, and I'm hoping maybe very soon, like the Black Friday prices will kick in, and when they do, if it's $15, you bet your ass I'm coming back here to get this. They still have a decent amount, but again, for $34.99, I don't think anybody's buying it. But when it goes down lower in price, yeah, that's when I'm gonna have to rush here to get it. But trust me, I do want it. Just got to get down to the price where everyone says it is. Well, let's hope that happens sooner rather than later. All right, well, I just wanted to show that off, guys, because it's certainly not that price here, at least not yet. But fingers crossed, it'll get there soon enough. And we are over on this side of Best Buy, guys. And the first thing I'm seeing over here is they got the Blu-ray digital of Mortal for $15.99. He's not one of us. Oh, I love that cover so much. Look at that, man. With the fire and the lightning effects going. I love that. That's so much, man. Really cool. And look at that helicopter right up there on top. Dude, do not even get close to this guy, man. Stay the hell back. He will fuck you up, man. Oh, brother. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime. Now, I wanted to watch it. Well, first of all, I thought the trailer was really cool, but also because of Nat Wolff. Nat Wolff is slowly becoming an actor that I'm really appreciating, man. I mean, his turn in Hereditary, which, man, he went through the fucking ringer in Hereditary, man. He did an awesome job in that movie. And then the couple of Jumanji films he's been in and a bunch of other stuff. He's a really good actor, man. So I wanted to sort of check this movie out. And basically it's about this guy that gets arrested by the cops. And there's sort of reports that he's killed people, that he's caused a lot of destruction. And this psychologist comes in and he basically says, look, I can cause fires, I can cause lightning. If I'm really emotional, if like, you know, I'm in a volatile situation, I feel cornered or trapped or in distress, I can do things and I can cause destruction. And sort of it's this psychologist's journey along with him to find out the truth of what's going on. Why does he have these powers? And sort of find out all this stuff before it's too late. I gotta tell you, man, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really well done. It's got a lot of really great thrilling aspects to it, very dramatic. The action is really well done here. Nat Wolff does an awesome job. So does Priyanka Bose. And I hope I'm not butchering that name, but I have a feeling I probably am, guys. She does an amazing job, or everybody does. The special effects are awesome with the lightning and the fire, and how sort of he can take a building and slowly turn it into like melting ash. Like, it's so well done, man. Really great. And the movie reminded me a lot of something like Chronicle. It's not your typical guy with powers type of movie. It's a little bit more complicated. It's a little more cerebral and psychological. And I really enjoyed it, man. I mean, not everything has to be your straightforward, I have superpowers and I'm going to save the world type of thing. There's other movies that are a little more complicated, a little more thought-provoking, like Chronicle, and this movie kind of is in the same vein of that. I really did enjoy it, man. I thought it was pretty good, honestly. Definitely something worth watching, especially if you're a fan of Nat Wolff and a fan of more complicated people with powers sort of ideas. Very interesting, man. Not bad. It does come with Dark Hero, the making of Mortal. Very interesting. Again, I really loved it. It felt a little long at times, but I was up for the drama and the thrill. I thought it was really well done, man. I really did. Not bad. They also have Upside Down Magic for $14.99. They also have, again, they still have it, man, this Friday the 13th Mega Deluxe Collection set, man, for $140, man. That is still an amazing deal, man. God, this thing she's fucking gorgeous, man. God, I think it's beautiful. Good Lord, man. I know October is all done, and a lot of people think horror movies are done because October, look, horror movies are all year round, okay? October is just the prime month for it, but it's all year round. And by the way, we're heading towards Friday the 13th. So why not watch a little Friday the 13th as well? Kind of makes sense, guys. So this is a mega set, man. I love this fucking set to death, man. Everybody that I have talked to loves this set. It's an awesome. If you're a fan of horror, if you're a fan of Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, this is a must buy, man. And for $140, if you can find it at Best Buy, damn, that is definitely a deal worth having, man, by far. That's awesome. And also, I noticed that they did get in more copies of V for Vendetta as well, the exclusive steelbook. They only had like a couple of copies left, man. They didn't have much. And so they definitely got in more, because I think they realized, wow, people really like this steelbook, and maybe they probably need to get in a little bit more. But not bad so far, man. Especially $140. Jason Voorhees, one badass, great horror villain. How can you not love Jason Voorhees? And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Guest House for $15.99. Pauly motherfucking Shore. Pauly Shore, man. Let's talk about Pauly Shore, okay, man? Because there was a time, and I don't know if you guys remember it, but there was a time when Pauly Shore could do no wrong. And I seriously mean that. Pauly Shore could do no wrong at all. This guy was the complete tits. He was everything. He was like the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Everybody wanted to be him. Girls wanted to be around him. Man, that was Pauly Shore, dude. I mean, Encino Man, In the Army Now, Jury Duty, Biodome. Oh, man, and you know, he had a really great streak of some really cool movies that sort of solidified him. And also, I remember back in the day when I was like a young kid, sort of in my early teens, I would watch the MTV Spring Break stuff because, you know, I had like no life and I was living in dreary central New York, and, you know, there was like hot chicks in bikinis and sun and sand, and I wanted to be there, and so of course I was fucking jealous. But you know, Pauly Shore was like the man, dude. He had girls around him, and he would be cracking jokes, and, you know, he's friends with Rodney Dangerfield, and he was the man. And for a while, he was like the center of the universe. He really was. And eventually, that all kind of went away, man. I mean, 15 minutes of fame is just that. 15 minutes of fame. It doesn't last forever. And for Pauly Shore, you know, and as I've told you guys, with Hollywood, when they throw you out, they throw you out. When you're not making the money for them anymore, and you're not the guy anymore, they throw you out like trash. And Pauly Shore found that out. He made a couple of movies which were not big hits, and he did some poor choices, and he was no longer the man. He was no longer getting the chicks. He was no longer getting the paychecks, and he was struggling. And, you know, I look back at those old Pauly Shore movies, and I do have a kind of love for them. In all honesty, things like Son-in-Law, which are goofy fun, to be real with you. But I kind of look at them and I'm like, yeah, that was a cool time back in the 90s, man. That was cool. That was really cool, man. But I kind of feel like we've grown up with comedy a little bit, and we're no longer the same people that like stuff like Son-in-Law and Biodome. Even though Biodome, which is so weird to say, Biodome is now kind of like a cult classic, which I would have never thought in my entire life that Biodome would be a cult classic. What the fuck? Did they see something that I didn't? I don't know. But I look at a movie like Guest House now, and I look at Pauly Shore, and I say that Pauly Shore is like a dying breed of comedians that no longer really fit the comedic world that we live in now. People like him, people like Andrew Dice Clay, and a few other people are sort of relics of a time that no longer really exists for comedy. It is a little bit more PC. You can still do comedy really well, but you got to change up the way you do it. You got to be a little more creative and inventive. You can't do the same old stuff. And when I look at Guest House, I look at Pauly Shore as somebody who is like, it's cool to see him in this movie. It's cool to see him acting again and doing the whole Pauly Shore, like doing all that, you know, drinking the witty, you know, doing all that stuff. Like, it's cool, but it kind of feels played out. And he doesn't have a new shtick. It's just the same old shtick. And as much as I appreciate seeing him in something new again, I gotta be honest with you and say that it's kind of old and tired at this point. And I think I'll stick to the mid-90s Pauly Shore. Those were good times. Seeing this Pauly Shore reminds me that sometimes it's really hard to make a comeback. And with Pauly, I don't think he's going to succeed. Definitely let me know what you think of Pauly Shore, man. Deleted scenes, behind the scenes, and trailer gallery. Not bad for this one, but I just wish it was funny. And the problem with with a comedy, the biggest sin a comedy can make, and I've always said this to you guys, is that it's just not funny. And with Guest House, they throw a lot at the wall, but a lot of it just doesn't stick. It's a shame, man. Then over here I'm seeing they have that complete collection set of Schitt's Creek for $39.99. Look at this, man. That is awesome. Oh, so cool. It's feel good in the best possible ways. Very nice. Now I gotta be real with you guys. I have never seen a single episode of Schitt's Creek. I know it's kind of sacrilege, right? Because I hear it's a really good show, man. It's about this weird family that has this complicated life and all the hilarity that kind of goes around that. And I've always been interested to check it out. I know it's on Netflix, and I gotta watch it, man, because I have my Netflix account, so I gotta give it a chance, man. But, my girlfriend watched some of it, and she was like, she didn't really like it all that much. But I asked her if I would be interested in it. She's like, well, she knows I like The Office. I haven't really watched much of Parks and Rec, but she says if you like that type of comedy, you might really like Schitt's Creek. So it is something I gotta look forward to. And by the way, I love Eugene Levy, man. Actually, Catherine O'Hara too, but Eugene Levy, man. Whether it's the old school SCTV days, oh man, the American Pie movies that he was in, of course, Armed and Dangerous. Armed and Dangerous is so good, man. Baby, 'cause I'm armed and dangerous. I just love that movie so much, man. Him and John Candy are fucking awesome, dude. I love Eugene, man. In fact, I think he won some sort of award, and I watched his sort of like acceptance of it on YouTube, and my God, man, people praising him and all the love that he's gotten over the years. He is just a real class act guy and a funny as hell actor. All the Christopher Guest stuff that he's done, he's really good, and so is Catherine O'Hara, man. So I love both of those actors. So them in this, I gotta give this a chance, man. If you guys know much about Schitt's Creek, definitely let me know. But it looks cool. It's won a lot of awards, and people have definitely loved this show for a long time. So I gotta get into this, man. It looks really cool. So it's something that's definitely on my radar for sure, man. Looks awesome. And for $40 for a complete collection, not bad, man. Not bad at all, man. And not bad this week at all. Some really cool stuff to check out this week. Not bad for the beast. All right, let's head out. I do declare, I think the beast delivered this week, dare I say. I think they really did, guys. I mean, we got all the new releases. We got a lot of indie stuff we didn't see, like Schitt's Creek and Mortal, plus some really great Steelbook love as well. I mean, they didn't have all of the indie titles, but usually that's not really Best Buy's bag exactly. But they did give us some really great, interesting stuff to look at. And as far as the Beast is concerned, that's always what I'm looking for. And so they definitely delivered. And I think all the stores really delivered. Some really unique releases this week. Definitely another big bounce back for physical media. Yeah, baby. Always love when there's a good week of physical media to check out, man. And this week is definitely no exception. Not half bad, man. Beast delivered. Target delivered. Even a little bit of Walmart love as well, I gotta admit. Wow. Pretty happy camper. Hope you are too. Let's head home and finish the video. All right, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And my God, it ended up being a good week, didn't it? Yes, it did. A good, actually great physical media week, man. A lot of really great releases that came out. Awesome stuff, man. And, the stores had a good amount, man, to show off. Well, most stores did. But, you know what, man? Honestly, I think this is a week that doesn't matter what kind of movie lover you are bound to find something at least worth watching. And it's kind of interesting because we're heading towards Black Friday, and you see a lot of these studios really just like piling on the releases, just getting them out into stores, getting them out into the market for people to buy. And it's the time of year, so why not get that shit out there, man? So hey, I'm a happy camper. I love seeing all this cool stuff out there in the media world. Hope you guys do too. Not half bad, dare I say, man. And it's interesting because I kind of want to tell you guys a story, right? So, I love talking to people. I love getting their perspectives on things. And sometimes you find out really fascinating stuff when even you're not expecting it. And I was talking to the electronics manager, guy who puts up the Blu-rays, DVDs, 4Ks at the Target location that I go to. Really nice guy. And he was talking to me, and he said, "Oh, something really interesting that you might not know about." And but he said, "Well, maybe you do." But he was like, "We really have to try to catch these red box bastards." And I was like, "Uh, come again? You gotta. I don't under. You have to catch these red box people. Why? What's going on?" I was really confused, man. I was like, wait a minute, what does Redbox have to do with Target? I was just really bewildered, man. And he said, "Oh, you really don't know?" And I said, "No, no, I don't. What's the correlation here, man?" And he's like, "Oh," he says, "the people at Redbox, they come into Target and they buy a huge amount of DVDs and Blu-rays and then put them in their Redbox machines and then make a profit off of that." And he says it's been happening forever and we've been trying to stop it. And I'm like, wait a minute, are you serious? Really? And he's like, yeah. And he says Family Video used to do it as well. People, representatives from Family Video would come into Target and buy a bunch of the movies and then make a profit off of it through their store. No! Get the fuck out of here. He's like, yes! Yes! And I'm like, oh my god, man. He's like, yeah, because he said that Disney does not give Redbox their rental releases until up to 2 weeks after it's been out on physical media at other stores and outlets. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, so what they do is they come into Target, they buy up a bunch of it, and then they end up putting it in their red boxes so they can still get the profits. And it said, we've been trying to get these bastards for a really long time. We always try to stop them, but they come in and they just grab it and go. And I'm like, whoa, I never knew that. Seriously. I never knew that, guys. Swear to God. I rarely ever use Redbox. Maybe I used it at the beginning, like Redbox was really going on and going strong, and I just figured, what the hell, why not try it? But, wow. I never knew that representatives from Redbox would just buy up a whole bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays at Target and then make a profit off of it through going through their own machines. He said, yeah, because they have Redbox gives these employees sort of their company card to go out and buy this stuff and then put it in the machines. And they've been doing it for years and years and years. And the same thing with Family Video. They do that at Target as well. And I'm like, oh my God. I never knew this was a thing. Swear to God, I never knew it was, man. And so I'm like, holy shit. Like, this happens week in and week out with, like, Redbox employees going to Target or other stores and buying up their physical media just to re-rent it to people. Wild, man. So wild. God, you think you know everything about the physical media world and then something completely, like, hits you like a hammer. You're like, whoa, this shit really happens? Like, damn, I know people buy, like, other, like, things from other grocery stores and then sell it at their, like, like, cheapo grocery place. But I'm like, I never knew that happened with, like, DVDs and Blu-rays and everything. Like, fuck. I mean, I know they do that shit on eBay, but I'm like, I knew that was eBay. Like, I didn't know that was, like, a reputable company like fucking Redbox, man. Like, what? So, dude, you learn something every single fucking week, man. God damn it. Yeah, I seriously have you guys? Definitely let me know. Have you guys ever heard of that? He was like, yeah, this happens every single fucking week. Damn. I kind of now want to go to Target and just like stake it out so I can see who the Redbox employees are that are like coming in and buying a massive amount of them. I'm like, whoa. I was so shocked by that, man. God, that's nuts. The hell, man. You learn something new every week. What the hell, dude? Wow, man. So some really interesting information, man. But there was a lot of great, very interesting titles this week. Hope you guys picked up something good. As far as I'm concerned, actually, the only thing I got actually was at Target. Crazy enough, man. You would think I don't really buy much from Target, but this week I did, and that is Spontaneous. I picked up Spontaneous because I really love this movie, man. I have nothing but praise for this. I love the humor in it. I love the weird plot of people combusting into bloody pools of gore. And I love this great teen romance, the teen angst. Look, I love, at times, a good young teen adult story. Something like The Fault in Our Stars is really good. But even, the more unconventional ones, like Warm Bodies. That is, yes, it's a zombie film, but it's sort of the cover for a more sort of teen romance, teen angst type of thing that they ended up putting in it, but made it this cool little zombie flick for people to really get into. And it's kind of like similar with Spontaneous. I understand people kind of roll their eyes, oh, young adult, but, and I do at times too, but when there is a really good movie in that genre, I will champion it. And Spontaneous is one of those ones. Look, guys, to be real with you, I don't buy a lot of DVDs. Okay? I really don't. DVDs is not my place where I buy a lot of media from. It's mostly Blu-ray and some 4K, but mostly Blu-ray. If I buy a DVD, I buy it because I really love the movie, and it's not on any other format. And I figure, what the hell, man? I'm gonna give it a chance and just end up having it in the collection regardless, because it's such a good movie. And Spontaneous is that, man. It really honestly is. I hope one day it's gonna come on Blu-ray so I can upgrade, but in the meantime, man, it's such a really great movie. I gotta have it in the collection. So for me, I gotta have it on DVD. So this is a great flick, man. Outside of that, look, I didn't get any packages this week at all. I know, shocker of a lifetime, because I've been getting packages constantly throughout the weeks. But not this week, man. A little bit of a dry spell. But I kind of told you that November was going to be that anyways. It's a little bit of a dry spell here and there. That I'm going to get a certain amount of media, but not a ton. But trust me, there is packages that are coming in the mail. They are, trust me, they are coming my way. So I will have stuff to show you guys next week for sure, man. I definitely will. And I just want to let you guys know that this upcoming weekend, probably Friday or so, I will end up finally doing another live stream for you guys. I will do it. I know that I've been saying I was going to do live streams. I've been so busy, but I will definitely be doing a live stream here. I will do it, so definitely stay tuned. And then next week, be prepared, because I will be putting out my Blu-ray pickups for September. It's finally going to be released. Better late than never. So definitely stay tuned to that. There's going to be some really great titles that I am dying to show you guys. And before I let you guys go, I got to talk about one story with you guys that I've kind of been holding on to this story for a few weeks, but I finally wanted to get to it. And I have said to you guys multiple times that what you get through digital is not yours. And maybe finally people will truly and completely understand that. Okay, so I found an article online, and this is great. Amazon argues users don't actually own purchased Prime Video content. Really? I'm so not shocked. But let me continue reading, guys. When an Amazon Prime Video user buys content on the platform, what they're really paying for is a limited license for on-demand viewing over an indefinite period of time. And they're warned of that in the company's terms of use. That's the company's argument for why a lawsuit over hypothetical future deletions of content should be dismissed. In April, Amanda Caudell sued Amazon for unfair competition and false advertising. She claims that the company secretly reserves the right to end consumers' access to content purchased through its Prime Video service. She filed her putative class action on behalf of herself and any California residents who purchased video content from the service from April 25th, 2016 to the present. On Amazon, actually on Monday, Amazon filed a motion to dismiss her complaint, arguing that she lacks standing to sue because she hasn't been injured, and noting that she's purchased 13 titles on Prime since filing her complaint. What the hell? So, oh my God, it goes on to more stuff, guys, but Jesus Christ. So, okay, look, who do I blame in this instance? Now, might be shocked a little bit, maybe not, but I actually side with Amazon on this one. I do not side with the woman and anybody else who joins in on this. I do not support them. Why? Because, as Amazon says, it's in the fine fucking print. Okay, guys, it's in the fine print. If you do not read the fine print, whose fault is that? It's not Amazon's. Amazon doesn't own your eyeballs. You do. So you have to read the fine motherfucking print. You have to. That's why I always tell you guys to read into the fine details and know what you're getting yourself into. And this woman, who apparently doesn't like to read, assumes that what she's buying digitally is hers to keep for herself. That is never the case whatsoever. And this is why I've always said physical media is so important, beyond important. Because if you think that you're going on a digital platform like Prime or Disney Plus or Hulu, Netflix, anything like that, and if you want that content and you have that content, well, I have the right to have that content. Because no, you don't have the right for shit. Truth be told, you guys don't have the right for shit. I don't have the right for shit. What I have a right to is my physical media collection. Once I buy that motherfucker, that's mine. I own it. Right? I own it. No one's going to take that shit away from me. No one's going to take, the Ice Harvest away from me. No one's going to take, Space Invaders or whatever shit. No one's going to take that shit away from me. Nobody. Except for me. Or maybe like a crazy axe if she decides to steal it or something. But other than that, I mean, I just don't understand why they think digital is the be-all end-all. That's why every single month Netflix says, oh, hey, by the way, we're adding all this content, but guess what? We're getting rid of all this other content. And everybody gets up in arms. Oh, my God, I can't believe they're getting rid of this and everything. I'm like, well, if you're pissed off they're getting rid of the fucking movie or the TV series, then go out of your motherfucking way, go on Amazon, go to the stores, whatever website, and fucking buy it, man. Fucking buy that movie or buy that TV series and have it so you can watch it any fucking time that you please. And you're not worried about a fucking digital streaming service, whether they're going to take it away from you or not. I'm sick of these people that think that digital is going to solve their problems all the fucking time. Oh, well, I rented it, so clearly it's mine. Or I bought it digitally, so clearly it's mine for good. No, it's not yours for good. You don't own it. Amazon Prime owns it because they own the material. They own that film. And if for some reason the licensing agreement happens or whatever, they have the right to say, it's gone. Sorry, I know you paid for it, but, it's out of our control. Sorry, man. I mean, when are these people going to wake the fuck up? Seriously, wake up. And that's why I think some people are starting to get that hint. Whether it's certain, scenes in a movie that are getting cut out, certain TV episodes that are no longer available because it's not PC, and you name it, guys. There's a lot of stuff out there that I feel like people might finally start to get the hint that say, okay, we need to buy this to really have it, to really have an ownership in it. You need the physical disc. And as much as I've said that physical is important, it's crucial compared to digital, because there are benefits to digital. There is. But at the end of the day, all the content that you're watching is not yours. It's not yours. You do not own that content whatsoever. You're renting it for a certain amount of time, and that's it. And you know, I know that you guys understand that, and I know that, you know, big hardcore collectors understand that, but the general public really needs to start opening their eyes, man, because, you know, we give a lot of control over to these digital overlords to a lot of points and reasons, but at the end of the day, we're also giving over control as well, if you really think about it. And at the end of the day, if you really love something, if you really care about something, go out of your way to buy it, to have it in your collection. And I get the whole idea of, well, Seth, look, I mean, I don't want a huge collection and huge mounds of physical media and take up so much space. I understand that. You don't have to own every fucking movie and every fucking TV series on the planet. Some people want to, but you don't have to. Just whatever you love, and you buy it, and it's yours. Thinking that digital is going to be the be-all, end-all and solve all of your problems, and that it's going to be the solution to end all solutions, that's just not the way to think. And this woman, God bless her heart, God bless her soul, but she's wrong. Okay, she's absolutely wrong. And we have to start saying that she's wrong, and that, you know, if she loves a movie, or if she loves a property, she needs to own it and not file a lawsuit against Amazon when it's clearly in the fine print and she just didn't decide to look at it and she was too lazy to read the fine print. If you love it, buy it physically. That's your best bet. Am I wrong on this, guys? God, I hope I'm not. Definitely let me know. I know you guys are smart out there. You reread the fine print, but some people, oh boy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday videos. I do the movie reviews with my friends, movie hunting, Blu-ray pickup videos, and much more. If you're a lover of movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become a part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank my subscribers, guys. You guys are awesome. Watching the videos, commenting, giving me great feedback, really anticipating the next video, and going out of your way to listen to my diatribes. You guys are beyond awesome. You give the love to me, and God, hope I give the love right back to you, man. So I truly appreciate it. And keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. Alright, guys. This was a really good week, man. A lot of really great stuff to talk about. And trust me, the train is just going to keep on rolling. And I will see you back next week for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care, everybody. And happy hunting.